Oh, you should be in a
Yeah.
multi-author book. Oh, yeah, you should be in an MLM because you make passive income. Sell my course, be an affiliate, do this,
Yeah.
sell on Amazon, sell Etsy, do this. And it's like, oh my God, look at all these opportunities, but end up sometimes with absolutely nothing if you're taking
Yeah.
all these opportunities and actually not doing anything with it.
Hello, hello, hello. I am Dr. Andrea Greiner.
And I'm Katie Corbin.
Welcome to the Dreams to Dollars podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs and professionals who are on their way to actualizing their dreams into reality.
Join us in this lighthearted and unique podcast where we talk about business, success, life, and building a deeper trust in God and the universe.
We are here to elevate the conversation and bring the magic to build your legacy.
We're excited for you to be here. Can't wait to dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We want to talk to you today about how and why you should identify good opportunities in your business. And I think let's start with opportunities are endless, right? Like opportunities that are available to us are really, we could say, like there's an endless stream of opportunities out there for you and your business. And now that could sound really great. Like, wow, there are so many opportunities out there. But the truth is, the hardest part, and I want to put hard in quotations, the most difficult part sometimes is actually discerning what opportunities in your life and in your business are actually going to be the most profitable, the most joyful, and the most lucrative for you. Because when we are presented with an opportunity, you really have to weigh what is the opportunity and then what are the opportunity costs involved in that opportunity. So somebody could present you with an opportunity. Hey, I have this really great extension, right? That you could start to extension of your business. You could start selling something like a product to your clients. It might seem really good, like, oh yeah, you can make more money, or the selling points of maybe you'll make more money or you'll serve your clients at a higher level. It plugs right into your already existing clients or whatever it is, right? The opportunity can be presented to you that there's an extension of your business that might make you more money. But then you really have to go into that opportunity and feel it out. So weigh the opportunity cost involved in that opportunity. So whether it's, well, how much does this opportunity cost me, right? The money cost involved. Not only maybe the initial cost, but what are the ongoing cost of this opportunity presented to you? And then you're going to have to look at time costs. So if something's presented to you and you're going, wow, that seems really good. Okay, so what is it going to cost my time? The opportunity might say, well, that's going to be 20 hours a week. Well, that's not going to be lucrative in comparison to something else, right? So it's like you're looking at the money cost, you're looking at the time cost. And then I want to say you're going to look at almost, is it going to bring me joy in my business? Do I want to include this? Or is this actually going to be more of an energy, right? We could put this in the energy. What energy and I'm going to have to expend into this opportunity? And then what is the opposite? What energy is going to almost be sucked right from me in this opportunity that's being presented to me? I want to say when I assess opportunities, like something drops in and you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to choose that opportunity in front of you, you really have to look at it at time, money, and energy costs. And then I want to even add a fourth one here. Does it plug into my long-term vision? And is this going to actually create an opportunity beyond just, I would say, like even like instant gratification opportunity? So I want to give an example here, and there's nothing wrong with this type of business, but we all know multi-level marketing businesses in the business world. And they can be super lucrative for people, right? If you work the business properly, you know the market, you have the product, and you know how to work it. But the truth is, some of those opportunities, they might see like, oh, it's only $100 buy-in, and you can make up to $10,000, $100,000 a month, but there's so much involved in it. right? There's so much that goes into that in terms of time, money, and energy, marketing, expenditures, whatever it is. And we could actually see it. People can present it like in a very lucrative opportunity, which it can be. But then on the other side, you really have to look at the costs involved in taking that opportunity. So it's important to assess this because, of course, it's an opportunity. And of course, that it could present more income and all these things to it. But at the same time, you have to assess the cost involved. Like, is this an actual opportunity that I want to take?
And I can share in this world also. So I built doTERRA for about 4 years, and I love the product. It fit into my naturopathic clinic very well. I taught classes. I love teaching, and I was spending a lot of time knowing that often in the beginning, well, with any business, you got to put a lot of time in to get the money to build, right? It was probably a good 4 years, maybe a good like solid 2 years of like really putting it into the business. And a lot of time, a lot of calls, a lot of classes, and not a lot of money necessarily coming back. And the blessing of 2020, it sort of just like this like was like, I don't know if I want to spend. It just wasn't making sense anymore. Like I think we all did reevaluations in 2020. And I just decided, I know I can make, because back then I was like, I know I can make 10K months on my own using my magic and building a stable business. Then to get to 10K months in doTERRA was going to, I mean, it's like an insane amount of effort. And then not only that, but to sustain it, like if someone pops off a leg, I gotta like, it's like, it's some of it is, it didn't make sense anymore. And that's okay. And I still use the products to this day, so it's not to say, like, this is not picking on MLMs. And it's more of like, just what Katie said, how is it going to benefit? What's the cost? What's the time? What's the energy? Does it bring me joy? Does it make sense for my long-term vision? And as I sort of ran those, it was sort of like less and less. And it was like, I'd much rather focus all that time, at least 5 hours a week back into my business that will generate, in that time, it was like really hitting, I wanted to really hit 10K weeks or 10K, well, that 10K months, and it
Yes.
made actually way more sense for the amount of time I was putting in to transfer the time back into my business for my vision.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool part is like I've coached people that are high leaders in MLN industries, and that opportunity for them was the right opportunity. Right?
Yeah.
That was the thing that worked for them. That was the thing that they're good at. That was the way that they made money. But we have to really assess like how we want to run our business. And if it
Yeah.
looks like an opportunity, right? That's just a great example because everybody's probably maybe in the I don't want to say in the world, but most people have seen an opportunity where you're presented with something like a lower ticket startup business. And you really have to assess whether or not that is the vision. Like that's in the vision of your future. Now, a lot of people it is, but other people it may not be. And this is why we say this is very individualized how you see opportunities. Like we can't say that there's opportunities out there for these opportunities are presented. It doesn't mean like it's right for everybody. So, how I usually discern opportunities is I check in with myself, right? I check in with my business. Is this part of the long-term vision? Does this actually fit into the bigger, greater plan? And the truth is, a lot of times opportunities can be presented that may not have been like what you were thinking in the long-term vision, but then they can actually like plug in like, wow, this is actually a really great opportunity. I'm going to take it because it financially makes sense. It time-wise makes sense. It energy-wise makes sense. And it's part of my bigger vision. So when it fits those criteria, and maybe there's even more, this is just what I'm saying is part of the criteria. If it fits those criteria for you and the cost, right, the benefits outweigh the cost of that opportunity, then it's like take the opportunity.
Yeah.
Versus if the cost outweigh it and you're taking all these it's sort of like the entrepreneur that takes all the opportunities in front of them and then they waste all their time and they end up with nothing. Like, "Oh, you should be in a
Yeah.
author book. Oh yeah, you should be an MLM because you make passive income. Sell my course, be an affiliate, do this,
Yeah.
sell on Amazon, sell Etsy, do this. And it's like, oh my God, look at all these opportunities, but end up sometimes with absolutely nothing if you're taking
Yeah.
all these opportunities and actually not doing anything with it.
And I mean, I meet entrepreneurs there sometimes and they're exhausted.
Yes.
They're like frustrated, they're exhausted, they put all this time in, and it's sort of like this spreading of energy and time that leaves them exhausted and kind of hopeless, and then kind of, feeling really frustrated. And I love the questioning around it. There are going to, just like Katie said, there's some that I'm like, I look at this as collaborations too, and I know we have a whole topic on collaborations, but is this collaboration opportunity? Again, does it make sense? You don't need to show up everywhere, and you want to just be wise and ask questions of where is going to make the most sense and which opportunities are going to be for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's true, right? Where opportunities even present in terms of maybe not like a like logistical partnership, but how you show up on other people's platforms is technically an opportunity.
Yeah.
If you're presented, this is like a perfect example, right? If you're presented with a podcast and let's say like the podcast isn't really the greatest fit, it's about something that you're not super interested in. And the person just started the podcast and you're not really connected to that person very much. And you haven't really established a relationship and they don't really have any listeners and you're at a higher level, right? Like you don't want to waste your time in that. So it would be like, hey, yeah, you're presented with the opportunity to be on some kind of podcast like that. No, no, thank you. I'm going to decline. Right? Because the
Yeah.
opportunity cost of your time and your energy actually the cost outweighs the benefit of that. Now, if there was a podcast, think about that where you're invited to, where the audience is extremely aligned and they have a lot of listeners and it's exactly what you want to show up at and you know that you're going to get in front of more people and right there's more benefits that you see. Yes, I'm going to say yes to that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's like, what would be more valuable for your time as an entrepreneur? Because the truth is we have the same amount of time. Everybody on earth has the same amount of time in the day. What do you do with it? And that will determine, right? What if you took all the opportunities to these little, these things aren't really as valuable versus you took more opportunities in the things that have value to you. I would say more than likely, you're going to be more successful when you're choosing the opportunities that are more aligned with your time and your money and your energy. Right? We could go on and on about these, sort of examples, even a networking event. Are you going to go to a networking event that has not a lot of people? They're all starting out. Maybe that's not the worst thing always. Maybe you're starting out too, but you're a seasoned entrepreneur, and you get into the room and you're like, or you're invited to it and the opportunity doesn't sound super enticing. Right? The time, money, and energy spent in it, it doesn't mean you can't alchemize in that too, right? Have fun in it. It doesn't mean that you might meet somebody, but the other one is like, you walk into a room with highly established leaders and people of high influence, and maybe you make connections there and you have a relationship with somebody there. Okay, I'm going to choose that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just giving examples here because sometimes opportunities can entice in excitement. And you have to really discern that excitement sometimes can be really good. Like, oh, I'm excited about it. This must be a good thing. But sometimes we actually can get a little bit caught in, well, that seems really exciting, but it leads to dead ends and nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a
Yeah.
lesson, cool. But if you tend to lean towards like, I'm going to take my time, money, and energy is very, very valuable to me. I'm going to lead towards the opportunities that are going to be more lucrative, more time expansive, right? Like you're taking one thing and you're expanding your time on that, and then more energy, right? And relationship expansive.
And then this is the thing about this, it's going to be different for everyone. Somebody might show up to a networking event and be totally happy with that, So each one it's really aligning with your values and what works for you, and starting to ask more questions around it. Especially if you are you're asking for more time, money, and energy. And so this is going to be beneficial for that and your energy and money. So
Yes, absolutely. And I want to say one more thing about opportunities. Opportunity is not always something that we need to take. So on the other end, right, this is what we're going to leave with. It's okay to say no to opportunities. It's a good boundary setter when you say no to an opportunity presented to you that's not the right fit. And this is what that does. So when you say no to opportunities, right, that are the opportunity cost is higher than the benefits, when you rational it out. Or you feel it out, or you intuit it out, right? Like it's not always rational. Sometimes it's like, no, I don't feel right about that opportunity. Or yes, this opportunity really lights me up. I'm going to follow that opportunity. But when you start saying no to opportunities that are just going to suck your time and energy, I find that the energy follows that. So meaning that when you are able to say more no to those boundaries, oftentimes you are able, it's like a muscle. You can recognize what opportunities are actually more valuable. And then
yeah,
what ones do you actually say no to? It's a discernment lesson or a discernment skill when you can actually say no to opportunities that don't feel or don't really, they're not reasonable yeses to you. So I just wanted to add that too as well. It's okay to say no to opportunities. You don't have to say yes to every opportunity that's presented to you.
yeah. Awesome. Well, we're sending you guys lots of love and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Dreams to Dollars podcast. If you vibe with our content and want to find out how to work with us, check out our show notes for the links.